What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, back for another FBA wholesale automation video. And in this video, I'm going to go into an older store and show you just exactly what this store is doing and how it's doing, and as well as how we got here. So I'm super fired up for this video to show you how this is done. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. All right, so here we are in this store now. I want you to remember this store is over a year old, so it's certainly not going to have the same type of result as a brand new store, but we'll talk about a brand new store here in a second. First, I just wanted to remind you that if you ever want to learn more about how to do FBA wholesale automation and or how to do the FBA wholesale route yourself, my email is below, so if you just shout out to me, I'll be more than happy to jump on a call and discuss your options for you. However, let's talk about this store. It's aged, it's over a year old, as I've already said. But a brand new store is not, and I just wanted to make a point, a brand new store is not going to yield anywhere near the same result. It's going to have to be aged first, and that's going to take a heck of a lot of sales and a lot of testing in terms of inventory. So the strategy that we're using on these particular stores is to take a test batch of products, send them in if we think it's going to be a good product, see how that works out. If it does well, then certainly replenish it. If it doesn't, then we have to sell them off, and more than likely it's going to sell off at a loss. And I will show you and bounce back to the old store next week so you can see what happens when we do have to sell off, and you can see that there's going to be some margin lost. And at some point, it'll even out because we'll continue to find more and more test products that will continue to work. And then we'll start replenishing the store with items that are constantly selling. So that's the end goal, is to find a decent basket of SKUs to sell in, day out, over and over again, at least 5 to 10 units per day. And the goal is to really end up with hundreds of those and then weed out the things that do not work. And so this store is already at the point where things have almost been weeded out, and there's possibly 100 products that are selling extremely well on this store. The margins are very high, unlike other stores, and they're also just regularly selling more than 10 units per day on some of those SKUs. Other SKUs are selling between 5 and 10 units per day. But I do want to remind you that this store is not all grocery. So the other store currently, or the brand new store, is all grocery related items. So what that basically means is that, yes, after you do open up your Amazon store, you do have to get ungated in grocery, which is a simple process that most people overcomplicate. If you need help with that, just let me know below. I will hook you up with my guy. He charges for it, but it's still a lot less than what I've usually seen it. And he's the guy that I use to ungate all my brand new stores for grocery. And the best part of all is he can get them ungated in days, and it can happen on a brand new store. So you don't need a store with age. You certainly don't ever need to have sold anything at all. You can get it done with a brand new store. But now let's talk about this store. This store is at the point, like I said, where it has those solid selling products. And so we can see and scroll through the days of sales that this is going to be a day. So I'm going to scroll through a full day so you can see the magnitude of how well it sells. Right here, this is a handful of products that are selling pretty regularly. So if I skip back to a previous page, we're going to notice that all these are sales for that particular day. So all these are sales that are happening day in, day out. And all these are sales that are happening all these are sales that are happening just in a single day. So everything that I've scrolled through here is a single day. And we'll talk about the profit in a minute here. And finally, this is the last page where that's it for the day. But that is quite a few items. What you're going to notice is there's a profit, and the profits seem astronomical, right? Well, that is certainly not the correct profit. And let's talk about why that's not the correct profit. On this particular store, it has 50% of the products have the cost of goods in there. The other ones do not. That was just kind of lazy on my end for not wanting to put it. Sometimes I can be lazy, and sometimes it's going to take a heck of a lot more work at the end of the year to tally things up and figure out what my real cost of goods is here. But not really, because I've got like a trick for that. But you're going to notice that our ideal model should be as such. It's kind of, we like to look at it from a arbitrage perspective or from a wholesale perspective. It's always 3 to 1. And what I mean by 3 to 1 is that you'll always want to buy a product. And again, we're going to use my favorite thing, this candle here. Let's say we buy this product, or we can buy this product for $7. We almost always want to make sure that it sells for $21, which is a 3-to-1 ratio, right? For 1 unit, which is 7, it should be 3, which is 7 times 3 is 21. So that's what we look for in terms of our margins. And what that comes out with is 33, 33, 33, all the way across. 33% being spent on the cost of goods, 33% being spent on the profit, or being made on the profit, and 33% going to Amazon for seller fees. So again, 33, 33, 33. And so essentially what our profit should look like, or our profit where we're getting those margins right here, should be 66%. Anything that is 66% or higher is hitting our numbers for where we want to be at. Anything that is lower here on this margin means that we're not getting quite what we want. In some cases like this one, this could just be breaking even. But to be quite honest, the reason that one shows as that percentage is because the cost of goods is over there. So this one, even though we look for a 33% margin, it only got 15.57, which is still fine. It's still something better than nothing. There was still a profit on it. This one too right here, this one has the cost in there. And even with the cost, it's still 45%, which is well above the 33%. So all in all, if you really look at these profit numbers, if I was to tell you which ones of these had cost of goods and which ones didn't, you notice that there's some really good ones. 71%, 64%, 65%, 61%, 59%. These are just slightly missing the 66%. There's only a few really bad ones. And let's see if I can pull one out. This 41% is well below what we look to shoot for. This 13%, but we've already got the cost of goods over there. However, that's still a bad one in general. And then we've got this 40% and this 53 are slightly below. So not a lot of them are bad. If we really look at the overall picture, what we'll notice if we were to average these things up is that we're right at around the 66% average, which is great for the store, meaning that we're hitting those 3-to-1 numbers, and the margins at the end of the day are going to be looking like 33% a month, which is really freaking great. And I'll show you why that's great here. And this is exactly the reason why, because at the end of the day, this store did over 151,000 total in sales, and FBA fees were more or less 52,000, which is 33% of that. There we are with the 33% Amazon seller fees. There was a bit of cost of goods in here. So we're going to assume that with this $93,000 left, there's going to be approximately $50,000 worth of cost of goods, which leaves $43,000 in profit, which is right close to around what I estimated, which is $50,000. There's probably a slight bit more in profit, which is about $40,000 to $47,000 in total profit. So this store is absolutely destroying it. But again, it's well over a year old. It's been going strong for quite some time, and it's sticking to all those rules that I talked about earlier. But one more bigger rule than all those, and that is, after the initial ungating in grocery, we continue to get certain categories ungated in this, so that essentially you could sell in pretty much anything that you wanted. And that's what the whole purpose of having one of these stores is to try to branch out, try to spend some of that profit you made not only on expanding to more product lines, but also making the account more valuable by getting ungated in other categories that you might not have to compete with as many people as you would had you just stuck to the usual suspects, right? And so that's pretty much the gist of how this store is doing, and essentially the same plan that we're going to use for our brand new store. So in the next time when we roll around and do this, you're going to see that brand new store is hitting a point in time where it's going to seem like it's struggling, only because we're selling off dead inventory that's not going to be in our collection of SKUs in the future. So I'll be back for that one next week. And remember, if you want to talk about FBA wholesale automation and or how to do this yourself, my email is below. I also personally respond to every single question and answer that you have, so put them below, and I'll see you guys next time.